So it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Good evening, Aston Villa fans. Sorry about the technicalities there, and I can't remove Neil's name from it. So, as you know, it's not Neil, it's me. Just me here for you this evening. Neil will come on over the next couple of days and give his thoughts on this. But can't help but think that we've thrown that one away. Really disappointing. It looked like we got the win by any means necessary. And got a 1-0, albeit rather fortuitous 1-0 ahead. And here we are talking about a defeat which was not expected. In my opinion, and even throughout the game, it didn't look like they did anything enough to go and get a point there. If we didn't score and it was 0-0, we might have said fair result, but having got ahead, we probably should have done a little bit better, both in giving away that free and defending the free. But a ball played into a very dangerous situation between Matty Cash and John Duran, and neither dealt with it. And as a result, we're looking at 2 points dropped instead of 3 points gained. Really, really disappointed in terms of our league position. Obviously, we've gone ahead of Arsenal because we picked up that point, which we can expect to change. But as a result, it's definitely 2 points dropped. Just as I said, just me. Neil won't be here today. If anything you want me to talk about, we'll talk about it. Bitterly disappointed at how things went throughout the game. I suppose it wasn't the best of performances. We suffered yet another Champions League hangover. It just wasn't fluid enough. I thought in the first few minutes, I thought we were looking lively, and then it just tapered off. I don't know what the hell was going on. We struggled to get any foothold in the game for a lot of it. It's just really, really difficult one to take, and it's even more difficult than I'm here on my own. We'll start, I suppose, by talking about the nearly a Premier League record of 13, I think, in the end. Yellow cards dished out by a referee without a dirty challenge in the game. Blatantly obvious that Amadou Onana was trying to pull out of the one at the end that he was booked for after 4 minutes. As a result, had to give a yellow card for everything. So that meant that every tackle that went in was a yellow card. Unfortunately, we did have the ball in the net after 27 minutes. John McGinn finding the net. Again, intense scrutiny to see that ball go out of play. Depends on what way you look at it, whether it did go out of play or not. To me, it looked like it was level with the line. Not that I'm going to split hairs over that, because we want them to look at everything and get everything right. I wonder how many angles they would have found for that ball going out of play if we'd have been playing someone else. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I think they got to the right decision, albeit a really, really close call. Good finish in the end from John McGinn, but it was obvious the goalkeeper had stopped as well, so not fully at full tilt. We managed to get we were destroying Adam or Aranjo down that side, and was booked early. Took him off, brought on Adam Smith, who was also booked very quickly. And I thought, we might have saw Matson a bit earlier in the second half running at him. didn't come. We picked up 3 yellow cards ourselves in that first half. Onana, Tielemans, and Ramsey or McGinn in the half. McGinn maybe the second half. Yeah, and look, we saw Amadou Onana come off at halftime mainly because of the yellow card he was on. I would imagine he's always likely to give away another one or pick up another one. Ross Barkley came on, didn't have his usual calming effect on it. I thought it was still a very, very frantic. I thought with him in there. Yeah, it's just a tough one to take. You know, that my take on it would have been that Maatsen come on and ran at that full back even more in the second half, but we didn't see enough of that, in my opinion. Yeah, John Duran then come on for Morgan Rogers. Don't think Rogers had a yellow card, did he? It was just a decision that was made. Didn't have his usual game. Morgan Rogers, I thought, was probably justified to make that decision. John Duran didn't, while he got a few touches, didn't impose himself as much. Got a couple of shots away, but fairly tame ones in the end. We did one challenge I forgot in the first half. One chance we forgot in the first half is the one for Onana that I thought Ollie Watkins probably should have thrown himself at as it was pushed wide at the back post. Look, it's a tough one to take, and I think everybody is probably feeling a bit down over this one. We spoke last week about Matty Cash having an okay game. I thought, in my opinion, I thought he was poor today. Just my opinion. I just thought decision making, even for the one where he dived in, was given rightly. I thought for a dive, a yellow card given to Semenyo, because you could see he was blatantly going down. These are the ones that we've seen Harry Kane being given for how many years now at this stage, blatantly going down before there's a touch on him. So rightly in my opinion, but he has to stop diving in. I don't get the need to get that close to your defender and dive in like that. It's just asking for trouble. Yeah, as we said, we've seen them given. I thought the referee got the right call, and once he booked them for diving, they weren't going to overturn it. But I think if that goes to VAR, he might be asked to look at it, because we all know what they're capable of. Thought the referee had a really poor game today. I've touched on that already briefly. I'm not going to go too much in that, because I think this is all about our performance today. I think anybody that's ever played the game would see that Semenyo called him a cheat or something along those lines when he called him over at the end, but knows that he's on a yellow card and he wasn't going to send him off. And yeah, it's just bitterly annoying that he hasn't made that decision. Yeah, any questions, throw them in the comments there. We'll keep this going for another few minutes. I understand that everybody is bitterly disappointed. I would say is the overriding emotion after what we've watched today. Just have a quick look and see where that leaves us in the table. We've pushed up to third place. We've obviously played a game more than Arsenal as well. We're a point ahead of Arsenal. It was a big chance for us to push on, and we've missed it. We've made life difficult for ourselves. We're going into an away match now against Liverpool and Spurs, which are going to be difficult, and we haven't done ourselves any favors whatsoever. A lot of statements in the comments. Nobody asking me any questions or anything you want me to discuss there. Just throw it in there. Mac Hunter says, if not for Travers, we win that 4-1. I haven't been a big fan of Travers over the years, but I think he had an excellent game today. Absolutely. Andy Badger says the same. Travers was excellent today. Absolutely keeps him in the game. English with Richard Park says there keeps the deserves man of the match 100%. Steve says the same thing. I think that's the overriding emotion. A couple of those chances, Watkins particularly straight at him. Watkins in the first half as well gets into the 6-yard box and passes the ball. I'm sorry, at this level of the game, you have to be throwing your left foot at that and taking a shot. bitterly disappointed he didn't take that on. Yeah, a lot more of you saying Travers man of the match. CC says, I feel for Bailey, but he's missing in action right now, looking not to give away the pen and looking not to give away a pen. Keeter wants to know who would move on in January. At the moment, nobody. Don't think so. Not for me. Dennis White says 3 subs combined to score. Yes, knows that at the time, Dennis. Absolutely. Max asks, do we think the McGinn ball was over the line? I think by the letter of the law, it's level with the line. I don't see daylight between the line and that, but as you can see, looking at this video, I'm half blind. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm open to being wrong, obviously. Lee Johnson says that goal was so predictable, knocking on the door for 10 minutes. I can't believe the decision making of our players. Yeah, decision making has been poor today, especially. Western says you wouldn't move anyone on, but definitely a replacement for Cash. You have to ask yourself what's going on with Nedeljkovic, not even in the squad today. Hasn't really got a sniff of it. CC says, unfortunately, I think the ball went over the line. Yeah, you're probably right. I'm not disputing that fact. I think by the letter, I couldn't see daylight between the line and that, and I think that's why I'm slightly on the fence with that one. Crunchy Nut Cornflakes says 2 points dropped today. Yeah. Lee Johnson also says nobody wanted to put her foot on the ball when it was needed. Has Cash got a brain in his head? Maybe a little bit unfair. He is what he is. He's probably our best right back at the club. I've said it before. Didn't have his best game today. Mike Warrenbolt said Ned needs to go on loan. I don't know. He's played Champions League football. He's played international football regularly. I don't know what he's doing in training. Maybe he's got a language barrier that's not helping him in any way. I'm sure that will come out in time, but there's definitely a footballer in there. Let's not all go all in on Matty Cash. It's not his fault we lost today. I think there was a lot wrong across the pitch for sure. Scott Taggart said we looked narrow today. Mattson should have been on earlier. Yeah, I alluded to that. I thought at halftime maybe that was the way to go. Having got the 2 rifles, the rifle and the substitute booked. I'd rather be a field than a Justin said I'm lost for words. Unfortunately, how I've got through 13 minutes of this speaking to you guys, I was lost for words too. Richard No says it was a draw, Paddy. Did I say it was a loss? It feels like a loss. If I did, sorry. That's me rambling. Apologies for that. Paul should have subbed Duran back off, not Watkins. Not the man could keep control. Possibly Paul, just not done in the modern game now, and I could only imagine what would happen if you took Duran back off the pitch. Yeah, Dennis says 6 minutes in, Rodgers missed a great chance to put on a play for him. 100%. He missed a few now. Needs to sort that out as well. You know, we know he's got it in his locker. Let me see what else have we got here. Crunchy Nut says feels like a loss. It does feel like a loss. I don't think this is one of the ones we look back on and say that was a point gained, because it certainly didn't feel like it watching it or afterwards, or will it for the next few days. It's a depressing 2 points drop today. Alex Moreno, good to see you in there. Goals win games, clean sheets win trophies. Well, that's a very true words. Words today. You see what the clean sheets has done for us in the Champions League, and we just can't seem to buy one, except for against a toothless Man United in the Premier League. Junior said if only Rodgers can finish. I beg to differ. I think he can finish. We've seen him finish. I think that will come with time. Still a young player. Still a bit hot and cold. And backing up that comment about clean sheets winning trophies, Man City's 1-0 win. That's the difference. Yeah. We're not the finished article by any stretch of the imagination. We're not competing at that top. Well, we're at the top table, but we're not getting the best of stakes at the top table. So we're not keeping that 1-0 victory today. Man City are, and that'll come with time. I'm absolutely sure of it. This is going to take time. We've got to this position maybe much faster than we anticipated. So we've got to enjoy what we have and wait for the rest of it to come, because I'm pretty sure it will come. Steve says we're unbeaten in 10. Are we unbeaten in 10? If we are, that's fantastic. I suppose that's another way of looking at things and trying to put some kind of positivity on it. On our disappointment today. Jack Jones says we're third, for God's sake. Jack, it's absolutely fine. Everybody has a different way of looking at it. I'm happy we're third. I'm bloody over the moon we're third. If you listen to our podcast during the week, I'm absolutely delighted with where we are. But to stay in third and to hold on to third, we have to be holding on to those wins today. Yes, Greg O'Connor says unbeaten since Arsenal. I didn't realise that was 10 games ago. Stephen Brown says, on a positive note, one more point in the bag. Still disappointed. Yes. Yeah. It's okay to be disappointed. It's okay to be happy with third. Not everybody we say that's puts comments in here is going to be correct, and I'm certainly not correct all the time. Jimmy Lasaint, good to see you, Jimmy. What's the chance of securing a decent right back in January? I'm not saying cash isn't decent, and I totally get that, Jimmy. We need to have pressure on our players, on all players. All players with the exception of Matty Cash at the moment seems to have pressure on them. I think across Matty Cash and maybe Emi Martinez, because there's zero pressure on him. But I believe we probably will bring in a right back if he doesn't trust Nedeljkovic to be on the bench, or maybe he saw an additional position on the bench today to leave Nedeljkovic out and have Konza to step in there at right back. That's obviously what his thinking is there. Shane Coleman says the ref ruined a bad game. Well, I think he added to the game being bad, in my opinion. You know, when you put that amount of yellow cards on the board, I think it just ruins it for everybody. Dennis correctly says Bournemouth will grab points off top sides this season. They're a good side. They are a good side. I said it during the week. They got a bit lucky with Arsenal getting a red card. Not lucky in the sense that it wasn't a red card. They got lucky in that it got them 3 points last weekend. But I think we've got to the level now where you're entitled to be either happy with that point or pissed off. That's nobody's going to tell you what the right way to feel is. I can give you my opinion and relay the opinion of those around us. Shane says it as well. Bournemouth took points off Arsenal, no big deal. I still think at home it's a game we should be beaten, as my chair decides to fall down, sit on the floor instead of at the microphone. Pajo says, as long as it's not a loss. It feels that way. It does for me anyway. Crunchy Nut says, ref probably thought it was December giving out all those cards early. Yeah, we were heading for record status there on the cards. It was a bit bizarre, all right. Ulster Villain says, I'm not for all the hating on Cash. I'm not feeling hate there, Ulster Villain. We're entitled to call him out when he doesn't have a decent game. So, you know, we'll pat them on the back when they do well, and you know, you have to say it when you don't feel they have. And today I didn't think was one of his one of his best games. Shane Coleman says, who was man of the match? That's a difficult one, and probably one I'd have to stew over to come up with a decent answer. I'd probably, off the top of my head, I'm going to go with Mark Travers for the start, and Ezri Konza for that, you know, great performance, has to be said, and a great block towards the end of the game as well. Couple of people saying the criticism on Cash is hard. I'm not going all in on him. Just keep repeating it because I'm putting up your comments here. Steve says, like the stream, please. Yeah, nearly 1,000 of you in there. Please do give us a like. Much appreciated. John White says, not sure he should have taken off Rodgers. He offers more than Watkins and Duran. Than having two up front. And look, he took him off to go and get the goal. We got the goal, albeit the goal didn't come from the two strikers. But yeah, it's a tough one to take. Rob Stewart said, we were poor, the ref was poor. Yeah, and probably contributed to us being poor and not being able to put in a tackle and whatever. But the ref wasn't the reason we didn't get 3 points here today. Angel says Cash looks better going forward than he does defending. Yeah, not going to argue with you there either. Jimmy says the Scottish Cafu was on punditry today. Didn't see I wasn't watching Premier Sports Ireland for some reason today. So I don't know. I think it was David Stockdale I was listening to, who was offering a lot from a goalkeeper's point of view, but not from an outfielder's perspective. What have we got here? Shane said no control of midfield in the last 20 minutes. Well, especially the last 10 minutes plus injury time, I suppose. You probably got a point there, which was unusual because we've had a lot of control when Barkley is in there. Lee Johnson says the sub made us worse. Well, we did score after bringing on the subs, and the 3 subs combined to score the goal. So make of that what you may. Keeter says Bailey deserves more flack. Yet to have shown up this season, he looks slow. Look, we've discussed that over the last few weeks. He didn't do anything to make us think otherwise today. And Richard Knowles correctly says he got an assist and did really well to readjust his body to get the header down for Barkley to shin that one in. Lindsay says Bailey never helps Matty defensively. Yeah, we discussed that with Spud in the team sheet tantrum because of how well that Jaden did help out our guys in the help out Konza, I should say, in the Bayern Munich game. It's just a pity that he's suspended today. Yeah, we saw him get a yellow card, second yellow card for something that wasn't deemed a free kick on John Duran today. But anyway, yeah, look, we've got nearly 25 minutes out of this, guys. I'm sorry I'm not more upbeat. Try not to be too down on this one. I know it's a tough one to take. We'll come back maybe Monday evening with Neil, and we'll have a chat and maybe pick the bones out of it a little bit more before we discuss Crystal Palace midweek. Don't be too down on the players. We're going to get performances like this. We all get them. I suppose a 1-0 Man City win would looking in would tell you that they probably had a similar performance today after Champions League during the week. But we probably will have to put that to bed, that Champions League hangover, with the run that we've got to come up with in 2 weeks' time, where we play Bruges on a Wednesday night, either side of Liverpool and Spurs away. So it doesn't get any easier. That's why I'm so down today that this one needed to be a 3-pointer for me. It's just I wasn't expecting or accepting anything else today. Albeit, I think if we'd have won 1-0, I probably would have said something like, yeah, we very easily could have drawn that game. So look, I'm going to leave it for there. We've dragged the arse out of it until now. Go away and enjoy your weekend. We'll do the best you can to enjoy your weekend. I know it's a bit disappointing, but as somebody correctly pointed out to me, we're third in the league. We're top of the Champions League. We're on the up. It will get better. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Before you nip out there, do give us a thumbs up. Sorry this is a short one, but I'm sure you'll appreciate this. This is a tough one to do. Thanks for everybody for all your support. look forward to speaking to you during the week. We'll chat to you Monday night, and then we'll have Team Sheet Tantrum and post-match on Crystal Palace on Wednesday before we head into Spurs away next weekend. So look after yourselves, stay fit, stay healthy, and all that's left to say is up the Villa.